I have Michael Ryder.
Here.
Mary Esposito.
Here.
Heidi Soper.
Here.
Amy Owens.
Present.
And Veronica Cortez.
Here.
Mark Newman has noted that he would be absent, and I do not see Carmen Ortiz, so she is also absent. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, Amy, would you join us, start us with pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen. Okay, happy news.
So be it.
Okay, we have reached number 3 on the agenda for general public comment. And Rick, where'd you go? There you are. You want to come up and speak?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I have my phone.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hello, everybody. I'm with the new owners of Hobie's.
Welcome.
Thank you.
What did you name the cafe's closed?
If you open tomorrow, I'm on Wednesday.
But I came today.
Oh, I know. I know. You know, I came to eat here too myself, and I had to go to McDonald's down the road.
No, I didn't get home.
No, I'm one of the owners,
Oh,
but I do this, and Mary Luce is the one that told me to found this, and I'm glad to be here. This is a great community. We did a lot of research, and we're lucky to get this nice place, and we want to be part of that here. Excited for us, so thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Catherine, your turn.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Yarte. I am running for Commissioner for District 5. And I am hoping to earn your vote and earn your trust. And I know most of you don't know me and I haven't been in this area. Every community is very different. I currently live in Rancho Haven up in North Red Rock. And so I make the point to meet everyone. District 5 is the largest district in Washoe County. It covers over 5,900 square miles. And so it's a lot of people to meet. And each community, as I said, is vastly different. And so I look forward to getting to know you all and learning what's important to you as a community and how I can serve you. And hopefully earning your vote in the process. So I will be glad to stay after the meeting to chat with you and discuss some platform points. I have some business cards if you'd like to check out my website or get to know me. I'm happy to meet up for coffee, anything like that. So I just wanted to introduce myself and check out your meeting and get to know what is important to the residents of Sun Valley. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. We have Jennifer who would like to speak.
Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Jennifer Fitzpatrick. I'm the Director of Community Medicine and Surgery with Nevada Humane Society. This is James Ream, our Director of Community Support and Programs. We just wanted to take a sec to talk about opportunities we have in Washoe County for helping with the pet overpopulation problem. So we know that there are many unhoused cats and dogs in this county. We know that Sun Valley is no stranger to that. And so we just wanted to take a second and talk about what Nevada Humane Society is doing to help with that. We have performed in 2025, we have performed over 6,000 spay and neuter surgeries for the pets of this county. That's a huge expansion of our program. In the past, we had been around 2,000, but we have expanded up to 7-day-a-week coverage, which is amazing. However, I did some real quick penciling of numbers, and Sun Valley zip code has only brought in 208 of those animals in 2025. That's 4% of the animals that we are seeing for surgery are coming from this region. We do know that many animals do come to us in need of new homes as a direct result of not coming in for spay and neuter surgeries. So the things that we are doing currently to expand access. We know that barriers to pet care include financial, as well as transportation and educational resources. We are trying to lower financial barriers. We have reduced cost surgeries every day. We also now have the opportunity to reduce transportation barriers. We have a mobile surgery clinic, a van that we do surgery in every day. It's amazing. It's where I live. We are hoping to partner with people in this community. We take 4 parking spots. So we would love the opportunity to reach out and talk with people about that in the future. I have flyers about the things that we offer that we would love to leave for people to look at. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for all that wonderful information. Wow. We are down to number 4, approval of the minutes for December 1st. I need a motion to.
I move to approve the minutes for December 1st, 2025.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor? Aye. They're approved. All right. Boy, this is going fast. We're down to number 5, the public safety updates. I don't see a sheriff, but we have our wonderful fire department.
Hi.
Hey, good evening.
After TM, the sheriff is actually online.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Everybody hear me all right?
Oh,
Yes.
All right, perfect. So for the record, my name is Joe Shum, Operations Division Chief for Truckee Meadows Fire. Tonight I have with me Captain Pat Hughes. He has assumed a medium-term acting role as we have a battalion chief vacancy currently. So he's acting in the battalion chief capacity, get his feet wet. He's passed all the stuff that he needs to be a battalion chief. He's just waiting for the official nod. Him and 6 other people are basically competing for the one job. So I'm going to let him give the updates tonight. I just wanted to introduce him.
Great. Again, for the record, my name is Patrick Hughes, fire captain with Truckee Meadows Fire. This is my first CAB, so have some grace. Anyways, thank you, board, for having me here and having Truckee Meadows Fire here. An opportunity to speak tonight. So I'm going to review a couple things about what's going on in your community, public safety wise. We'll talk about call volume, burning regulations, carbon monoxide, smoke detectors, and some flooding preparedness. So pretty brief, but we'll go from there. Anyways, call volume is increased just like any other fire districts in the country. We have seen an increase in call volume. Now, the increase in call volume has been related to primary EMS, secondary motor vehicle accidents, and third is fire. So fires being the very least. What's important for you guys to know is that while fires are kind of the big highlight in a lot of the news and stuff, we are responding to everything you guys, every emergency you guys can think of. And that's any emergency over all of Washoe County. So we spread all the way from, Cold Springs all the way down to the Carson City line, and then also east and west. So we have a pretty vast area. And so just have, grace with our response time. We're doing everything we can to get there quickly, efficiently, and our firefighters are doing everything they can to make sure that we take care of the community. So a couple statistics is, so ending in December, we had 243 calls total, and that was fires were 6, EMS was 170, and then motor vehicle accidents was 16. So those were the big highlights for Sun Valley. And then total for the year of 2025, we were at 3,004. So a 1% increase from last year. So not very much. I mean, a little bit of an increase, but nothing too crazy. So let's go into open burning. So open burning, common incidents from open burning are wildland fires and also brush fires. So right now we're not sitting at a crazy risk. We have good fuel moistures and everything going on. So not a huge risk to that vegetation. So things that to remember is burning is regulated and requires a permit, and also burning is restricted and prohibited during periods of high fire danger. And by high fire danger, we're referring to like winds over 10 miles an hour. So we're keeping tabs on that, and that's what can drive those fires out of that burn pile and into homes and or other vegetation. And then we just strongly encourage residents to always check the burning restrictions and regulations, and that's on our Truckee Meadows Fire website. It will be on the homepage right there. If it is authorized burning, it's in green. And also you can call our office number 326-6000 and hit option 1, and that'll let you guys know that burning is approved for the day. So it's approved every single day. So we're taking a look at that. So moving on to smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. One of the most effective ways to save lives is carbon monoxide detectors and smoke detectors in your homes. So just remember that with the cold weather coming in, we're having to increase responses in the community with carbon monoxide detectors, especially, I've noticed. And we just want to make sure that you guys, a lot of those alarms have been either from disabled detectors, batteries, or malfunctioning detectors. They do need to replace them. They do have a life. So install your smoke detectors on every level of the home. That's number 1. Number 2, make sure your carbon monoxide detectors are outside sleeping areas. So we want to catch before it gets into sleeping areas. Test alarms monthly, and then also replace batteries once a year. So and then that'll, for the home protection, that'll be it. Flood preparedness. So this is the last thing. It's relevant during these times when we have these monsoonal weather patterns coming in. You know, we do get some minor flooding. The soil is starting to get saturated slightly, so we are starting to see a little bit of rise in that water staying above the soil level. It can occur quickly near creeks, drainages, you know, stuff like that. Low-lying areas. A couple things we wanted to hit is don't drive through flooded driveways or roadways around here. Be aware of the weather forecasts that are incoming. So and then have a basic emergency plan. So that'll wrap it up. Truckee Meadows Fire continues to be here protecting life, property, and community. And then I'll grab your question 1 second, and thank you for having me here.
Mark Emhoff for the record. I don't know, this is my friend in Jacks Valley has this problem. Radon gas, is that something up here at all? I've never heard.
Radon is present everywhere in the United States. Yeah.
I have to put some things in his basement, you know, or underneath his house, and I didn't know. He seemed like it was pretty serious there, but maybe it's that area of Jacks Valley Road and Carson compared to.
UNR Cooperative Extension
Yeah.
is a great resource, and they actually offer free testing and monitoring.
Okay,
So that would be the place to check it, but it's present everywhere in the United States. I grew up in Colorado, and it was very present.
thank you.
It required mitigation, so.
Good, back.
Daniel Yarte for the record, with the type of winter we're having, what are your predictions for the fire season coming up?
You know, a lot of this incoming weather will put some cheatgrass on the ground, which carries a lot of those fire and the heavier fuels. It depends on if we continue this weather pattern or not, and it shuts down early. I mean, a lot of that stuff's seeded already, and it gives the moisture. We'll see a lot of cheatgrass. But up front.
Hey, Dyer, for the record. Got you that time. Anyway, I'm worried about some of the ditches. You know, this is my favorite thing to grumble about. Because some of the ditches have got grass, beer cans, bottles, they overflow and into the roads. Which we had a couple of them out where I live, but there's so much stuff in the ditches. Is there any way that you can make either the landowner or the people living there to clean it up somewhat? Just to mow it, to pick it up?
It can certainly be frustrating for sure.
Yeah, and it's somebody, some way.
In Sun Valley itself, there's a culmination of a lot of private property. And there's a lot of
That's
GID.
right.
And the Sun Valley GID maintains and operates the road system and drainage system.
County roads, they do,
And then
they don't.
County roads has other roads, the RTC, Sun Valley Boulevard's a state highway. So there's a lot of different jurisdictions that run through here. From the fire department's aspect, yeah, we would love to have everything clean and perfect and pristine, but there's nothing within our code enforcement abilities to force anyone to do any of that. We don't like having ditches and stuff overgrown, because obviously in fire season, it becomes a problem for us. But unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of jurisdictional authority that we have to enforce that. It falls on Washoe County.
Thought of and brought up someplace.
Yeah, it gets brought up pretty routinely, and then I would encourage people to report it to Washoe County, the code and ordinance department, because that's Washoe County codes is who actually enforces those things. It doesn't fall to the fire jurisdiction, unless it creates a imminent danger and threat on a public right of way that we can go in and enforce ourselves.
So if we ever have, God help us if we ever have one, if we ever have a fire that is wind driven, those ditches are gonna be major.
Yeah, there's a lot of hazards here.
Understood.
Yes, Alex.
Hi there, I have a comment to radon and the ditches as well. It's actually National Radon Month this month in January. So you can get free kits from UNR Extension, free testing kits. If you go over there, they should be handing those out, I believe. We have a proclamation for it. And then as far as the ditches, our Washoe County Leadership Academy has identified that Sun Valley is one of the highest risks for fire danger. And so they're actually going to be looking at small things that they can do to improve the region, which may include ditch cleanings as well. So we'll have more information on that as the project comes to fruition.
Wait, sorry, go ahead.
Mike Refke for the record, on your radon question. If you go to Sun Valley General Improvement District sometimes they have them.
Next week, she said, right?
And I think they're gonna start handing them out next week.
Thursday. Thank you guys.
Okay.
This Thursday.
Let Carol go.
Carol Burns for the record. The right of way on each side of the road is the responsibility of the county. So the county should be cleaning the right of ways on our roads and streets out there. Is there some reason that it's not being done?
I can't speak for the county. We're the fire department. We are a separate entity from Washoe County. Although we are covering the county, that's a Washoe County question. I'm sorry, I can't answer that. But what is or isn't happening? CSD, Community Services Department, is my understanding of
Who would we call?
Community Services. I think Alex might be able to point you in the right direction.
Community service.
Community Services Department.
Hi, Veronica Cortez. I am working, Carol, with Washoe County because of the nonprofit I have out here. We work with the court systems doing community service. And we're gonna try to work with the county and not just for, Sparks court systems. So we're working on that. That was something that was brought up to the board since I've been here, so through the nonprofit, we are making negotiations through Washoe County, getting people in the county here that need to do, in some valleys that need to do community service anyway. Why not clean your own ditches? Get it signed off through the nonprofit. We're licensed, we're insured. If we're good enough for the courts, we should be good enough for the county. So just on that note, on the note here, the trailer that burned up on courts, we have a little confusion. Was that last night or the night before last night?
There was a trailer fire night before last.
Night before, okay.
Mhm.
Because they sent me posts, it was like 2 hours ago, and then he's like, no, it was 2 days ago, so I just want to clarify, it was 2 nights ago, not last night.
I have to. There's lots of things that happen in the county. My memory serves me.
Okay.
Yes, there was a trailer fire.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. That was very interesting and lots of information. Good questions too. Thank you. Alexandra, you said we can have that now? Is he listening yet?
Yes, he is on. Nick, are you able to speak?
Well, I would like to say something to him before he starts.
Oh.
And I think it's probably on behalf of Sun Valley. Thank you, thank you, thank you for arresting the guy who dumped all those lines. All right, your turn.
All right, how's the sound working today? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Perfect. All right, Lieutenant Nick Tone with the Sheriff's Office. Usually I'm there in person. Apologies I couldn't make it tonight. Yes, most certainly. We are always happy to end up getting somebody in the process of dumping, especially vast quantities like that. That was a good arrest, and I'm very happy that the community reached out with what they saw and we were able to take enforcement action. That was a good arrest, and we're very happy the community reported that to us. Just a couple of updates from us. There was the trailer fire. That trailer fire was over on Courts. Was in an abandoned trailer. Of course, we responded with TMF. On scene, they said it was likely due to a warming fire. Not sure who lit that fire. However, when we were in the area, we were able to make contact with numerous other homeless individuals that were living in abandoned trailers or in the area. We were able to successfully offer resources through our Hope team, which are the proactive team that reaches out and helps with everything from Medicaid and resources to housing to what have you. So we were successfully able to offer resources to them as well. A couple of things you guys may have seen in the area. I believe it was about a month ago. We sent out a social media post about some chronic fires that we are having out in the area in between Spanish Springs and Sun Valley. Above that road called Dolores over the top into where the middle school is up there. We have been deploying drones, part of our drone program, to patrol the area because it's such a wide open field area, looking for individuals trying to figure out if these chronic fires are man-made or essentially what the deal is. So we did have a couple questions about what these drones flying in the air were. If you guys see those flying around, that is what they are doing. They are acting essentially as another deputy. There is a deputy piloting it, and that deputy is patrolling the area, proactively looking for individuals up to no good, lighting fires out in our desert. Thankfully, it's wintertime, but that certainly doesn't mean we can't have fires out there. And are there any questions for me regarding that or anything else?
I don't see any hands up, so you don't have any questions.
Perfect.
Yes.
Hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's.
Covered everything. All right, thank you. We are moving on to number 6 on the agenda. I know last month I let you all know that we were going to have a gentleman from the Better Business Bureau here tonight to discuss scams. He's going to come see us in February because tonight didn't work for his schedule. So we have Mr. Paul Nelson from RTC who's here with us, and he's got all kinds of good stuff for us. Paul, do you want a microphone?
Yeah, might as well. Hi, thanks for having me back. It's always good to come out here and talk to you guys about some of the things we're doing out here with the RTC. My name is Paul Nelson. I'm the Government Affairs Officer over at RTC. Today I'm going to talk about some of the upcoming projects we've got, some of the transit options that we have out here, and some of the other things that we're doing in terms of our metropolitan planning. One of them that has a direct impact in Sun Valley right now. So a lot of people, when you think about RTC, you think about our big buses, but we've got a lot of different transportation programs. The biggest one is RTC Ride, our fixed route service. One of the busiest ones actually comes right out here in Sun Valley. Flex Ride, that's our service that we have in certain areas. There's 4 different zones where there are no fixed routes or not enough demand for fixed route service. And so we provide these smaller buses that we can get people within those zones or drop them off at one of the fixed route bus stops. RTC Access is our paratransit. RTC Van Pool is our carpooling option that Enterprise Rental Car provides the vehicle. We also provide a subsidy. You can have 5 to 15 drivers it makes it a really good option for people that are traveling long distances for work. Other service we have, RTC Smart Trips, Washoe Senior Ride, and the Mobility Center. Washoe Senior Ride, I've been getting a lot of questions about this. It's a great option for people that can sign up, you get a card, you can either use it for a taxi cab, or you can use it for an Uber or a Lyft. You can't use it for all three, you have to pick one when you sign up. But it's a really good option for people. $40 every month, it will auto load, or $60, I'm sorry, will auto load onto your account every month. And that's for veterans, seniors, and people with disabilities. And then finally, we've got our public transit contractors. So RTC doesn't operate the buses, we own them. We hire Keolis to operate the fixed route buses, and we have MTM operates our paratransit and our FlexDrive buses. So the impact in 2024, about 5.5 million rides on RTC Ride. This year, we haven't got the numbers back, but we're closer to $6 million. Last check, we're redoing some software right now. In August, we were up to 37 straight months of ridership growth. We're expecting that we're probably around 40 now, because it doesn't look like anything's slowing down. So we're pretty happy about that. With Van Pool, that program I was talking about, we're one of the top 10 in the country for van pools for the number in our fleet. It's right around 330. We've got a lot of people that work out at the top of Reno Industrial Center, Susanville, Truckee, Carson City. So it's a great option. You'll get people to carpool out there. And as you can see, in 2023, actually in 2024 as well, saved more than 20 million miles traveled on our roads. As I mentioned, one of the busiest routes we've got is Route 5. When you take away the routes on Virginia Street and on 4th and Prater, this, I believe, is the busiest route. It goes back and forth with another route that goes right by the senior center. So it kind of goes back. But if you take those routes out, this is the busiest or the second busiest. So overall, 5th busiest route. We're also, helping out our younger kids. So some of our future riders, our current riders already, we've got a Head Pass program, and that is free rides for everyone that works, goes to school. Basically, faculty, staff, and students at UNR, TMCC, DRI, and Western Nevada College. And another one that we started up just recently, earlier this year, was our Youth Ride Free. So any student in the Washoe County School District can sign up for this, and they can ride our buses for free. We're starting to get some of our stats back, and it's really looking good. One of the main reasons that we partnered with the school district for this was because they were having a lot of problems with chronic absenteeism and tardiness. And we were hoping that by reducing some of the transportation obstacles, we could also help eliminate some of those absenteeisms. So we're getting some stats back. We have seen about a 3% drop in tardiness and chronic absenteeism. We don't know for sure if that's because of the free rides, but it's a step in the right direction. It couldn't hurt. One of the things that we're noticing also, we know which schools are using it the most. And what we're finding out is that most of the rides that kids are taking aren't even for school. And it's not for extracurricular activities, it's for after school work. So it's really important for some of these kids that want to have after school jobs or summer jobs. We've already had more than 2,000 people sign up for it. So one of the other things we do is we are the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and that's federally required. You have to have at least 50,000 people in your community. There's 4 of those in Nevada. We got Washoe County, Southern Nevada, RTC. You got the Carson area, Metro, is it Metro? We just call it Campo. And then we got the Tahoe Reno Planning Agency. So one of the things that we're required to do by law is we have to have what we call the Regional Transportation Plan. So that's our 20-year outlook. We've actually gone out 25 years. We just had it adopted back in February, where we look at all the transportation needs coming up over the next 20 years. And if you look at that number down at the bottom, 107 projects are in that document, $4.6 billion worth of construction over the next 20 years that we could have coming down the road. So a lot of work, a lot of need, there's a lot of growth. So we'll see how we come up with all that funding. So the project process, as I mentioned, starts in that 20-year plan, the RTP. From there, we really we break it down to the next 5 years. What are the big projects that we have to do in the next 5 years? And that's the Regional Transportation Improvement Program. Once we go through there, we go through the interlocal cooperative agreements. So RTC doesn't own any roads. We just fix the roads and build the roads, the regional roads. not city streets. We don't do those either. We don't fix the potholes or anything like that. But once we get to that 2-year point, we go up to Washoe County, the city of Reno, the city of Sparks, and we have this agreement on which projects we want to do in the next 2 years. And from there, we do the budget and then we hit construction. So one of the big things that's happening in Sun Valley right now is our neighborhood network plans. So I think last year when I came out here and talked to you, I mentioned that we were just kicking this off. We did already do the planning for right there in the middle, number 9 and number 7. So that's Central Reno, Central Sparks. We went through, we did a plan. We broke the city up into 12 cities, up into 12 different neighborhoods. And we're going through each of them to find out where we can make some inexpensive fixes to make things better for pedestrians and bicyclists. So we already did the plans for 7 and 9. Right now, we are implementing those 2. So 7 and 9, Central Reno, Central Sparks. At the same time, we're doing the plans now for the next 2 on the list. So we're doing 2 every year. Number 2, that's Sun Valley and Panther Valley. So we're doing the planning for that right now. And we're also doing the plans for number 10. That's down there, Hidden Valley, Meadowwood Mall area. So we're doing 4 of them at the same time, the planning and the implementation of the first 2. Next year, we'll be implementing these changes and then we're going to start planning on the next 2. So we got about a 6-year process and we're going through all these. Some of the quick fixes that I'm talking about, we call quick builds. They're inexpensive and they're easy to build, they're fast. It doesn't take a construction season to put them up. And this is just a few examples of some of the things that we can do. You've got bulb outs. You've got the protectors in the middle of the crosswalk. If there's a busy street, people get stopped. It's called a refuge, pedestrian refuge. You got little roundabouts, little makeshift roundabouts. You put planters in to slow down traffic, things like that. You got the bike lanes. This city here, I don't remember which one it is, but they took some a street, shut it down, made it kind of a community courtyard area for activities. Next one. Bicycle infrastructure is something that we really focus on as well. You can see the different types of bicycle infrastructure that we can put in. As I mentioned, we're doing all the planning for Sun Valley for this right now. So some of the things that we could see coming down to this community are some of these types of things. That picture on the top right, that's one of my favorite ones because they're called armadillos and they don't look like much, but when you run over them, it kind of hurts. So you don't want to do that. So one of the things that we do every year is our pavement preservation program. And this year we have done, I believe, 140 lane miles of pavement preservation. Keep our good roads good. It's an inexpensive way to make our roads last a lot longer. If we just let our roads crumble, it costs about 10 times as much to replace them as it would to maintain them. So this is a couple of pictures here that we just did this summer. This was up in the Somerset area where you've got cracking that happens. So we went and we patched them. And we put a 3 seal stripe them, and this will make these roads last a lot longer. We also have corrective maintenance where you'll take the top layer of pavement off, put a new layer of asphalt down. That also gets a lot more length out of your road life. And then rehabilitation is when your road gets to the end of its actual lifespan, but the materials are still good. So we can reuse those materials and then lay down a new roadway. So the 2025 traffic signal modifications. This is something that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to moving people through the area. But the modifications that we're doing here actually makes a really big difference when it comes to your commuting times. So we do every year, there's about a dozen different projects in the traffic signal modifications program that we're doing this year. The one up here in Sun Valley that I want to talk about is down there on the on-ramps where you're getting on 395. Right there at McCarran Boulevard. So right now they use a camera. There's cameras that will detect when there are vehicles and that will kind of change the traffic signals to get people moving through. We're going to replace those with vehicle detection systems induction loops is what we're changing it to. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but when you're at a traffic signal, you might have seen, it looks like somebody cut some circles in the asphalt. You guys seen that? So that's what the loop detection is. So it's pretty much a magnet that's underneath and it detects the cars on top. So what they did is they studied these intersections down here, Clear Acre area and McCarran, and realized that this would be a lot more efficient and a lot more effective way to get traffic through the traffic signals than the way that we're currently doing it. Doesn't work for all intersections, but for this one, we think it's the best approach. So this is the big project that we've been talking about for a while now. It's our top federal priority. So we're going after some federal money. This is basically an overhaul of Sun Valley Boulevard between Scottsdale and 7th. Those ditches that we were hearing about earlier, we're gonna get rid of those. And that's actually probably about half of the price of this project. The total price tag, as you can see, is about $88 million. It's also gonna make a huge upgrade to pedestrians. We're gonna put in sidewalks, bike lanes, underground drainage. We're also gonna be doing some flood control. There's the Sun Valley Wash that comes down. If you wanna have the board, hopefully, we're gonna vote today to sign a letter of support because we are applying for a $25 million build grant. Last time I was out here, we were applying for the Protect grant for $40 million. We were at the finish line to submitting that grant application and the administration pulled the grant. So we don't know if that grant is gonna come back or not. If it does, we're gonna apply for that one again. But we're gonna apply for this one for sure. The cap is $25 million. We're going for the maximum. NDOT is also gonna pitch in a significant portion of the funding for this project, and RTC is gonna pitch in the rest. Once the project is done, the plan is for NDOT to transfer ownership of the road to Washoe County. So some future street and highway projects, Highland Ranch Parkway widening. I hear about this one in Spanish Springs and Sunville. It's a problem. So right now, the project that we've got at RTC is widening Highland Ranch Parkway from Sun Valley Boulevard over to the entrance of Five Ridges. From Five Ridges down to Pyramid Highway, the developers are going to widen that. And I checked with the city of Sparks and it sounds like they're doing some grading down there right now.
Yeah.
So construction's underway. He's not completely sure when construction of that'll be done, but he expects it to be done in the fall. Hopefully they can get it done a lot sooner because I know people out here need some relief at that intersection. RTC is also looking at that intersection to make some improvements. We were looking at possibly doing an overpass with off ramps and on ramps. The price tag is gigantic. It's $130 million or something like that. We don't have that kind of money to do, and that wasn't going to solve the problem from what our engineers studied, because the traffic would just back up eventually anyway. So we're looking at an entire fix for that intersection. You guys have all seen this map before, the different phases of the Pyramid Highway project. That intersection that I was just talking about is right there where the purple and the green kind of meet together there. The idea, if we can come up with all the funding, would be to accomplish all of this, where we can make the widening on Pyramid. We can also extend this drive all the way across Sun Valley and connect our Boulevard. That would take a lot of pressure, not only on Pyramid Highway, but also on the Karen Boulevard. So this is long-term plan, very expensive. So it's coming up with the funding and finding out what the best solution is. So I know a few of you are out at our meeting at Red Hawk just a few weeks ago. We were discussing a feasibility and alignment study that we just concluded. What we looked at were 6 different routes that would connect USA Parkway to Spanish Springs and Sparks. 2 of those were feasible. So then we dug deeper into those 2 routes, and what we came up with, we looked at all kinds of different criteria, not just price, but also environmental, right of way. All kinds of different issues. I think there were 8 different criteria we looked at. Volume of traffic that the roads would generate. So what we looked at, what we ended up coming up with, and this was strictly data driven. It wasn't anyone's opinions or anything, but it was strictly data driven. We came up with that route that you see on that graph, or that map right there, which would connect to Vista Boulevard right there at Golden Eagle Park. With that alignment, we also could have the option to connect it on that dotted line up to Lopside Drive. So that would alleviate some of the additional traffic that would be going through Wingfield Springs, and it would kind of disperse a little bit. I heard a lot of concerns about the number of trucks that would be coming through if we do build this road. And that would take those trucks away from Wingfield Springs and take them up to La Posada, so they're not going through the neighborhoods. People are concerned about roundabouts and trucks trying to go around them, things like that. So this is something that nothing is written in stone yet. This is the very first step, but we're trying to alleviate traffic congestion on I-80. There's a crash approximately every other day or every 3 days. It's 150 every year. So when you think about how often there's a crash on I-80 between Sparks and USA Parkway, it's a problem. So reducing some of that traffic by building another route would be very beneficial. It would help the residents of Sun Valley because you would have an additional route, especially in the future if we connect Sun Valley to Spanish Springs to the north, Lemon Valley. So another study that we're concluding right now is a commuter rail study. And what we're trying to accomplish there is to see if it would work to have commuter rail that would connect Reno and Sparks to USA Parkway. 85% of the population that locally that works at USA Parkway lives north of I-80. So along with the road and rail, those are two options that we're looking at. Hopefully, if we go through with them, will alleviate a lot of the problems that we're seeing with I-80. Of course, NDOT does have a plan to widen I-80 as well. So we'll see if all these things come together, it would be great. Hopefully it does alleviate some of that traffic, not just on I-80, but also 395 for a lot of you guys that are coming home during traffic. I've been on that road when there's a lot of traffic and you're stuck in it for a while. So hopefully if all these things go through, we'll alleviate all of that problem. So when it comes to revenues, you can see most of our revenue comes from fuel tax, about $118 million a year. The next on the list is federal funding. So we do get a lot of federal funding. Some of it is formula, which is designated for us every year. We also apply for grants, like the one that we're gonna hopefully get here, this build grant, $25 million. And if we can get that, by the way, hopefully in 2027, we'll break ground on it. But we also get sales tax that operates our transit. We get some other smaller portions, and that gives us a little bit investment income, things like that. Passenger fares is very minimal. You know, it's $2 for a trip. If you're a senior, it's $1 a trip. So it doesn't give us a lot of money, but it's a very valuable tool for transportation. Thanks. Our expenses. So if you look at that 329 number, you can see it's higher than the revenues that we have, but that's because we planned ahead. We set aside money knowing that we had big projects coming up. Capacity improvement projects like the Sun Valley Boulevard, that falls into that category. That's our biggest chunk that we spend at RTC. After that, you've got three kind of similar size, the ride operating, multimodal projects. MPO operating is really small. You know, that's basically paying the staff. And then ride operating about 50 million. So you can see we have a lot of different revenue streams, but we also spend it in a lot of different ways. So the impact, if you look at construction alone, we did about 10 million square feet of pavement preservation. When I talked about 140 lane miles, but we're keeping our good roads good. Our investment in our community created 2,700 jobs last year. So it's critical for not just our infrastructure, but also for the economy, the investments we're making. We also work with UNR. They do a lot of our traffic signal timing. I don't know if you guys do that, but their engineering school, we partner with them. They go out and they will adjust the signal timing for us. And then with transportation funding invested, about $171 million from fiscal year 23. We hear about gas taxes a lot, and nobody likes paying gas taxes, but.
Best for you to hold the mic a little.
Okay. How about that? You know, my mom was always telling me to shut up as a kid. You gotta tell me to speak up. So with fuel revenue, we index our fuel here. So every July 1st, there's a formula and the gas tax goes up a few cents every year. Generally, it's based on a 10-year rolling average. One of the things that we're finding though, is if you look at that left chart right there, that's gallons purchased per capita. You can see in 2010, we were purchasing about 410 gallons of gas apiece. And if you look at it now, we're down to about 350 gallons that each of us are buying. That's good, but it also means that there's less fuel tax revenue coming in to fix our roads. If you look at the vehicle miles traveled per capita, vehicle miles traveled are actually going up. So people are buying less gas, but driving more. That's because cars are getting more efficient, fuel efficient. We've got electric vehicles. So we are looking at different options now to how can we fill that gap of the revenue that we're. So even though our gas taxes are going up every year, we're not getting more. It's staying flat. The bottom line is basically staying flat. So fee comparison. So if you look at the RTC fuel tax, our share of the fuel tax is close to $200 a year. What each person would pay in fuel tax to keep our roads good. And if you compare that to sewer, water, power, property tax, and auto insurance, it's actually quite a bit lower. So I try to remind myself of that when I see my dial clicking upward when I'm gassing up my truck. But that doesn't include the state and the local tax, but the state and the federal tax, but that is the RTC share right there. So one of the things that also pays for our roadways is what we call the regional road impact fee. So this is where you've got developers come in, they have to pay a fee for every unit they put in. North of I-80 for a single family home, about $5,900 per unit. Multifamily, $3,700. South of the highway, about $5,400 for a single family and $3,400 for a multifamily. That money goes into two different buckets. You got a bucket for the north side of I-80 and a bucket for the south side of I-80. And that goes towards adding capacity. It's a result of the development that's happening. One of the examples I can give you north of I-80 that we just did recently about a year ago was the Sky Vista Parkway widening project where we put the roundabout in over here in Lemon Valley Stead area. That was paid completely with RIF fees. So no tax dollars were used for it. Another one down south was Steamboat Parkway. That was paid for with RIF. So it is development paying for capacity on our roadways. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Me, Veronica Cortez, Citizens Advisory Board. You know, you were talking about, and I learned recently, the kids that go to school, Washoe County School District students, you know, they can ride the bus now. Is there a way that we can get employees on that program? Because I know there's a lot of teachers who I can't make it to work because my car broke down. They can hop on the bus, you know, or maybe so. Who would we talk to about maybe getting employees on that work for the school district? Because it looks like you do with all the universities and stuff. So.
Yeah, with the university we do. So this Washoe County one, the Youth Ride Free, this is a pilot project. We're hoping that it's successful enough that we'll continue it on. And if it is successful, then maybe that's something that we can look at.
When is the pilot over, or how does the pilot work?
I think it was approved in, I want to say April last year, and it took effect at the end of May. Basically, as school was getting out is when we started the program. And what we saw was we did have, you know, a few hundred people sign up, students sign up during the summer months. When school started back in August, we saw in the first week it jumped about 1,000 people signed up right off the bat. So, and it's been going up every month since. But as far as faculty riding for free, that's something that we'll have to look at down the road. Who went first? I think you did.
Right. Okay, couple things. When you're talking about the fuel revenue indexing, there's a deal on news, a couple weeks ago about how the electric vehicles aren't paying road tax. Are you involved with DMV? Are you guys working with DMV to get the appropriate tax to offset the fuel tax for the electric vehicles?
We are not working with DMV. This is something that we're looking at right now.
Because DMV is already looking into how they're gonna tax the electric vehicles or put something on their registration as far as that goes. That was on the news a couple.
So what we're looking at is if something goes through, the legislature has to approve it. If the legislature approves it, more than likely what it would be is a flat fee when you register your electric vehicle. And that dollar amount, we don't know, but what we would like is for it to be the equivalent of what the average driver pays in fuel tax every year.
Right, so you're working with, that's what my question. Okay, second, a month or so ago, you guys were doing a survey regarding the flex rides and all that stuff. And I had all my seniors that I could out here in the Sun Valley because there is no flex ride out here. So what is the outcome of that survey if you know of it?
So that survey is something that's going into our study. It's called Ride More with RTC. And that study will conclude later this year. What we're doing is looking at our entire transit system. We're looking at our buses, our van pools, our flex ride, our access, and we're trying to find the most efficient and effective way to operate our transportation system. That could mean changing our routes to go where most of the people are, which we're already doing a pretty good job of. Most of our routes go where the people are. You don't want to run an empty bus. But flex ride zones are also something that we're looking at to find out, should we add another one? Or should we expand it to certain areas or add more points of interest? So that's something where we do this every 3 to 5 years, where we look at the entire transit system and then we try to find efficiencies.
Yeah, because I know my seniors, if they go and get this $60 Uber ride from Sun Valley to, say, their doctors, that's one visit is their $60 monthly Uber.
I will say one thing that
And they'll
probably
take them
Sun
2 or
Valley
3
does not have
buses.
going in its favor.
I'm sorry?
One thing Sun Valley does not have going in its favor to get a flex ride is it does have a fixed route. So we generally put these in areas where there isn't a fixed route. We'll see what happens with this study over there.
Right, but it's a limited fixed route, just down, up and down the boulevard. It doesn't, you know, and it's like, a lot of my seniors are disabled and they have to take 2 or 3 buses to get wherever they're going. So you're gonna make a disabled senior go all 4 hours to get to an appointment. It's, so that's all I'm saying. It's like, I hope they look at
I think you have one, or you agree with that.
Mark and Wall for the record. She kind of answered part of my question. I was wondering about the senior ride. You say it's $60. That's not unlimited then. That's, you get how many rides can you get with the $60? How does that work?
You probably don't get a lot of rides.
that.
I would guess 1 or 2 trips.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's, okay.
$60.
Wow, okay.
I'm a Lyft driver, I can tell you, so that, one of the things that's happening is the insurance companies have figured out they can charge more for, Lyft and Uber through the insurance, so if you know of anybody to talk to about that, usually a ride into town anywhere, even all the way down to, Rose, or what's that one, down by Lowe's, there's a lot of doctors on the
Sierra Rose.
Sierra Rose, that should only be about $20. So that's about 3 rides. It should be, but I have noticed if they come in under, maybe you wanna look at Advantage Plan or whatever, sometimes it can be double. So there might be somebody else doing a little skimming or something, so I found. Insurance?
Ma'am, what's your name for the record?
Sue Mitchell.
Well, back to your comments about the, Ellen Schaefer for the record. Back to your comments about the signal modification down on McCarran Clear Acre intersection. When is that gonna be come to fruition?
That's on this year's traffic signal modifications. I don't know the exact date when.
Because there's been a lot, we've had a lot of discussion about this in previous meetings. And there's been a lot of finger pointing. Well, we don't know who's responsible for the signals. Maybe go try them, talk to them. So RTC is in charge, or on record is in charge for the signals. Okay. You are the one that we need to pose the questions to.
Yeah.
There is nothing they can do right now because all of that modification was done when they were doing the constructions on 395 and they were routing people off of McCarran because the access ingress to the 95 was closed and they routed them through Clear Acre. Well, that signal modification has not been rectified.
Yeah.
It's been modified a little bit, but it's still, it's absolutely ludicrous. If you stop at the intersection heading south on Clear Acre and the on-ramp, so you stop at that signal and it's red, but the one in front of you for the one coming off of 395 is green and the one at Selmy is green. And then all of a sudden the red turns and you make it through the second green because it's still green, but then the other one at the Selmy is red.
Yeah.
I mean, that is.
And that's what we're hoping, we're hoping to fix that. And I'm glad you brought that up about the 395 construction because our plan was to do this when that ramp was closed. But we were still getting our plan in place. So we weren't able to do it on time, so we gotta come back in.
But there's nothing
Probably the summer.
triggering that they can do right now. Just make those 3 be,
Other than signal time, I'm not sure.
okay.
But yeah, but this year we're gonna fix that and hopefully it'll be nice and smooth after.
You're in charge of the signals. Does that include cameras?
Mary, what's your name?
Mary Esposito, for the record, sorry.
I believe so. We,
Well-
we do have, the cameras that, some of them are designed, so we've got some newer technology where, especially in Sparks, where we've got our intelligent transportation system, where we're connecting our traffic signals with fiber lines. So that the traffic signals can kind of communicate with each other, so that you don't have the issues like, and with some of those cameras, they see when there's traffic backups. So when the traffic is backing up, then the traffic signal realizes that, and then it feeds that information down to the next
Not the
signal.
cameras I'm talking about. Does that pick up the guy that jumps the red light?
No,
No.
we don't have those in the map.
That's what I'm talking about. This intersection where she's talking about, the other night I'm coming home and I am stopped going north. The light turned green and 3 cars went right through the red light coming north, coming south onto the highway. This goes on all the time.
There was a bill in the legislature this last session that would have allowed jurisdictions to install red light cameras for that reason, but it didn't make it out. The committee voted it down, or didn't act on it.
Carol Burns for the record, you didn't address the issue, at the bottom of the hill, of Highland Ranch going to Pyramid. And then we have the folks on Five Ridges coming out. Who is going to solve that problem? Is that the developer to solve that problem? Those people are sitting there because they can't go left and they can't go right. They're stuck there.
There's no traffic signal there right now?
No.
Okay,
No.
I'm not sure if there's a traffic signal plan for that. I would assume that there is with that amount of traffic.
But you don't want a signal, because you get a signal 100 yards down the road. You're gonna put another signal there? That makes no sense.
You don't have a signal, you're just gonna have a bunch of cars.
Yeah, it's lose.
Well, I feel sorry for these people, because they can't get out of Five Ridges. And nobody sees, is the developer supposed to do something?
I don't know exactly what their priority is in terms of like solving the congestion issue at that intersection, other than widening the road and adding that extending that turn lane to go south on the Pyramid Highway.
Well, if you widen it, they still go, the only way they can go is right. They can't cross the traffic to go left. The other question I had is, you were doing a traffic count right before our meeting last month in December. And I was curious if you could tell us the traffic count. It was right just south of First Avenue, between First Avenue and El Rancho and that down there. There was a counter out there. Can you give us any information?
I don't have that information.
Oh.
Usually NDOT
Could
has
you
the
send
traffic
it
numbers.
to the Community Services Department?
He said NDOT usually has those numbers.
NDOT?
I know that when we started the Sparks Boulevard project, we wanted to get some traffic counts, and I got those numbers from NDOT.
Oh, NDOT.
So most of it was between, I think it was like 35,000 cars a day between Sparks Boulevard from Prater to I-80, and then the farther north you go, the less traffic there is, obviously.
Not in Sun Valley. We have all the people cutting through.
Yeah.
From Pyramid every day. This is Smog City twice a day because of this layout.
That's why we're gonna get a letter signed by your board here. It's 25 million to fix that problem.
There's a lady right behind Carol.
And then
Right here?
Robin, Benjamin, I may have missed this, but in the money you were talking about how it was gonna be allocated. Do we have any future plans to have some sidewalks in Sun Valley? We really have a problem with the kids.
So on Sun Valley Boulevard, yes. I also know, I know that also Washoe County, so we worked with Washoe County, the city of Reno and the city of Sparks on our congressionally directed spending request this year. Most people just call them remarks. So in the upcoming appropriations bill, hopefully they'll pass it by the end of the month. That will be in that bill. So we'll get $6 million. $2 million of that will go to Washoe County, and the plan for that is the park over here. I'm trying to remember the streets. Yeah, Gifford Park. There's gonna be some modifications over there. I know there's parking issues, there's pedestrian issues, so the $2 million that Washoe County, that's what it's going towards.
$2 million cars.
It's a start.
I'd like to know where all that COVID money went. The other question I had was, I thought it was on the books to have a different route out of Sun Valley over to Pyramid.
Yes, that's been
Is
going
there
on.
any progress? I heard that it was done.
It
They
hasn't
were
been done,
not gonna do it,
it's,
and they-
it's moving very slowly though. And that's the connection from Disc Drive over to our Boulevard.
This drive to
Our Boulevard.
Our Boulevard.
Oh, to Harvard.
That's the one. We've still got the ones that we.
Ortiz for the record. I want to mention, it's really important that when you guys get those little postcards in the mail about these upcoming development meetings, that you go to those. Because that Five Bridges, when it first came as a first development meeting to us, it was gonna be a right turn only. They weren't gonna be turning left on the oncoming traffic, and I see accidents almost every day, because they finally get a break coming this way, but we finally get to go. We've been sitting there 20 minutes, so we're going. Almost every day I see an accident there at Five Bridges. And so what you can do is go online to Washoe County and you can sign up to receive those email alerts. And you can get the ones that are even farther than the, 250 feet from your house, whatever that is, I don't remember, but you can get all of the alerts. You can go to all the meetings. You can look at the ones and say, oh my gosh, this is gonna affect me. I'm gonna go to that. So please do that. Another question I have is, you're in charge of the stoplight, so if Sun Valley has a major catastrophe, we need to evacuate. One of our routes out is Golden Valley. Are you in charge of those lights down there at Golden Valley at 395?
I'm not sure. I think that RTC is mostly in charge of the traffic signals.
Okay, I would
Because
like to
we're-
request that someone do a look at that, because it was the same thing, it was temporarily put up, which they didn't have any lights before, it was only stop signs there, so whatever, there's lights now, that's good. But they are just as bad as the first phase when we had them at Clear Acre and McCarran, they're just like that right now. And if we had to evacuate, we need that area to get out. Be going out all four directions. Okay, and then my last comment is, find myself driving to Sparks a lot lately, and there's all these roundabouts that we don't have here. So when I used to drive down to Sutro and Whittakin, that roundabout was no problem. But I have this little tiny car, and it's like, I don't know, this big, but it's definitely not an SUV or a monster truck, and I can't see over that foliage. It's not safe. What do I do? What can you do? Can you now? Can you plant stuff?
I heard the same thing about the roundabout down there in South Green that we just did, is everyone's been like, we love the roundabout, but we can't see what's on the other side of it. Yeah.
Well, they're hard enough anyway, and then you can't see. Okay, please do something, thank you.
You're the all vendor.
My name is Dennis Dyvick. I live on Yukon, or flag lot behind on Yukon. I've been there now about 11 years. The first time I saw Sun Valley was in 1978 when we moved up from Goldfield. It hasn't changed much.
No.
Nobody seems to care about doing any web development. No lines on the streets at nighttime. There's hardly any street lights, and you get blinding lights coming at you. You don't, if there was at least a center line, but there's no lines, no white lines. The painting of the lines could be done fairly easy, I'd say. And, but, kids get off the bus, they've got about a 2-foot strip of pavement. When the bus leaves, they're out there with the traffic. They got a 7-foot wide gully on each side of the street. Either they jump over it or in it, depending. And I think it's shameful that since 1960s.
And that's why the Sun Valley Boulevard project is such a high priority.
Yeah,
because we recognize
I heard about that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's like
We're still trying to.
We're still waiting.
I mean, how come? I mean, we all pay taxes. And, I'm here in, Sun Valley now, since, 11 years now, in this house. Now, there was another house there, but people have been living in this community and, paying taxes every year. And so where does our road road improvement funds go? Was it go into Reno to put up, crack sidewalks or something like that?
Yours would be Washoe County. Most of yours go to Washoe County. As I mentioned, we don't own the roads, but we do fix the major roads like the Sun Valley Boulevard. Thing with Sun Valley, there's not a lot of regional roads out here. So for those roads, I can't really answer that.
Yeah. But the danger is the kids, I've seen, okay, like we got all these, like Amazon and UPS and FedEx and all these trucks parked on the road, mail trucks. And you got about 18 feet wide asphalt there, and you got traffic. Well, it's really a hazard. I mean, there's some people have the pipes. And the ground is covered over, so you got a little soft shoulder there of dirt, but not everybody. Some people have curbs, no sidewalks, no consideration for
RTC though.
Well,
So he's saying.
I'm just saying. Yeah, well, I know, I just wanna air this, because I've come to these meetings now, 4 or 5 times, and I hear the same roundabout. And we've had NDOT in here. And now the thing is, how many times do you pass the buck until you get someplace where something's gonna get done?
Takes,
And
what I've
safety
learned since I've been at this position, is very slow.
Supervisor for the record, so you were saying that you're gonna spend the $2 million just on Gepford, around Gepford for parks, for sidewalks?
Washoe County shares $2 million around Gepford Park right there, yeah.
That's the only place you're gonna put sidewalks?
With this money, yes.
Why?
It's tough way compared to Sun Valley Boulevard. Why don't you have this special meeting for us?
You guys, if you're gonna talk out of turn, I need you to announce your name, and also to wait until the next person is finished up.
It's getting really late, everybody, so I'm gonna limit it to 2 more questions, please.
So the way earmarks work is you have to use that money for the application that you put in. So Washoe County's application was for Gepford Park, they got the $2 million, that's where it has to go.
$2 million.
I want to make a comment, but not a question, so don't count that against the next person that's question. No, Mike Ryder, I'll make a comment. I've been involved with the Gifford Park thing with the county commission. I will address the person that wants to ask that question after the meeting. And I can give you more information about what's going on over at Gifford Park, so you know why and how that happened. So just wait, if you have that question, save that question, ask a better question, and you can ask me a question after the meeting and I'll tell you what's going on over there. Thank you.
Do we have one more question? All right, Paul, thank you so much. All right, that was great. A lot of information. Thank you, thank you.
So the board has to vote on whether to approve the letter to sign as the
We
chair.
haven't seen the letter.
He's bringing you the newer copy.
Oh, okay. Do I need to read it out loud for everybody?
That would be great.
Okay. All righty. Thank you, Paul. We have a new letter that the advisory board, the Citizens Advisory Board are going to send in, but it's in behalf of all of Sun Valley. And it's to the Honorable Sean Duffy, Secretary of the U.S. Department of Transportation. Dear Secretary Duffy, on behalf of the Sun Valley Citizens Advisory Board, I am writing to express our strong support for the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County's application for the BUILD grant for the Sun Valley Boulevard Improvements Project. Developed in partnership with the Nevada Department of Transportation, this project addresses longstanding safety, accessibility, and infrastructure deficiencies that affect daily travel in the Sun Valley community. Sun Valley Boulevard is the community's primary commercial, educational, and transit corridor, serving the main connection for residents traveling to schools, parks, local services, and regional employment centers throughout Washoe County and the Tahoe-Reno Industrial Center. Families rely on this corridor daily for commuting to school, walking and biking to nearby destinations, assessing transit, and reaching jobs. Yet the roadway lacks continuous sidewalks, ADA compliant facilities, and safe multimodal infrastructure, creating safety risks for children, seniors, and people with disabilities. Safety concerns are compounded by frequent flooding caused by inadequate drainage capacity, with runoff and sediment overtopping the pavement and creating hazardous conditions for all users and accumulating infrastructure deterioration. Portions of the project lie within the Sun Valley Wash, a FEMA designated special flood hazard area, contributing to reoccurring roadway disruptions and unreliable access for residents and businesses. I'm almost done. The proposed improvements include construction of an enclosed drainage system and upgrades to pedestrian, ADA, and transit facilities. Will address these longstanding deficiencies by improving roadway safety, reliability, and accessibility for all modes of travel. These investments will strengthen connections to housing, employment centers, schools, public transit, and recreational facilities, particularly for residents who rely on walking, biking, or transit. Improvement Sun Valley Boulevard will also strengthen access to regional employment and economic opportunities by creating more reliable and affordable connections between community and major job centers. The Sun Valley Advisory Board reviews this project as a priority investment that reflects longstanding community needs. Our support reflects broad community consensus and confidence in RTC's ability to successfully deliver the project. We respectfully urge the U.S. Department of Transportation to support RTC's application for the build funding.
Here, here.
That's all. You need a motion?
We need a motion.
I move that we support this letter and this ask for the build grant for Sun Valley.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right, I'll sign it. Okay. Wonderful. All righty, I will sign that as the chair and we'll get it to Paul and we'll be good to go. We do have topic number 7. This is 2026 topic planning and meeting schedule review. Everybody here has a copy. The one that says potential topics is the one we're going to look at. We're also going to look at the ones for 2024 and 25. The one for 24 and 25 are the topics that we discussed through the year. And as far as I can see, there's no duplications on the suggestions for this year. And since we're running kind of long, I'm not going to read all of them. I'm going to read through the potential topics for this year. I'd like the board members to please read along and vote for your top 3. We're going to have the ability to do all of them, as many of them as we want. But we'd like to come up with the top 3 that we can get started on now. Next month, we already have scheduled, we have the gentleman from the Better Business Bureau coming to talk about scams for seniors. And we also have our new county manager coming to talk to us. So February's already done. Some of the topics that were suggested were the history of Sun Valley, how to start a neighborhood watch program, banking and grocery services update. We have an ATM. Did you notice this? Yes, Wells Fargo is back.
Oh, wow.
Yay! They got sick of my daily emails and my weekly phone calls. I don't know. They did get daily emails and weekly phone calls. Anyway, the next one down is foster adoption and mentoring programs, code enforcement, HOPE, HOPE, which is the homeless outreach team, effects of eliminating the coyote program out here in Sun Valley. They have a new hunting law now where I guess it's fair game. What does that do for us out here? Services, electrification and status of projects with the RTC, which Paul just pretty much did. Status of projects with NDOT, swift exit, the evacuation study. We have a meeting January 22nd for that, and that program should be finished in the fall. So you don't need to vote for that one for our top 3. Signs to look for and process for reporting crimes against children. So if you guys could vote for the top 3, we will announce the top 3 next meeting and get everything scheduled. And like I said, the rest of them we can see too, but we just wanted to work on these first.
Maybe, if you would like as well, you're also welcome to take comments on other items that the public may want to hear.
Right, I was going to ask for that next. Thank you. If there's anybody out here that has a suggestion, we'd like to put that on here as well. So does anybody have a suggestion for a topic for one of our meetings? Okay, I'm ready.
Hey. Tracy Dean with Community Cats. I think that Dr. Fitz with the Humane Society spoke first. Before I was in here, I was giving traps out to somebody to catch some cats. The difference between our numbers for the year included about 40% of cats out of Sun Valley that we helped, which was 1,782. And that's double than what we did 2024. And I think Humane Society, and they only get 4% of people bringing their pets in to be fixed from Sun Valley. So I think the difference is our commitment to this area. And they're committed now. They're coming in going, we want to support, and she wants to bring the mobile van up here and fix people's pets. Because the free roaming cats coming around, yesterday they were a pet from somebody normally. And if you can get the pets fixed. So I just think really encouraged by the commitment that Humane Society is stepping up. And I think that's a really important thing here because we've been working here for 26 years as Community Cats, and we're a volunteer driven group, nonprofit, grassroots, 501c3. Happy to help the area. And I see some of our people, Kay here and Pam and Sue just left, and we've been coming to their homes and helping.
Perfect. All righty. I wrote it down. So that's on the list as well. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add? Guys, you're so quiet. Carmen.
In addition to how to start a neighborhood watch program, can we get an update on the current neighborhood watch programs in Sun Valley? If Teresa comes?
I don't think we have any.
Well, we were supposedly supposed to have some in the lifestyle. But we don't, okay, yeah, Teresa. Neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
With their own.
Cindy, did you have something?
Cindy Leslie from AARP is trying to start something out here. for that, for neighborhood watch.
Okay.
I believe so. And also, like I said, many times, getting the school board out here to address the traffic issues with not just a letter, we need somebody to come out and do a study about the traffic issues with the drop off and pickup times of the students.
Okay, I got it. Yes, ma'am.
This is Pam for Record Edmonds, and I think I brought it up before, but did we get somebody from code enforcement so we know exactly what to do to get rid of the nuisance in our neighborhood?
I've got that on here.
Yeah.
Yes.
On there?
Yeah, code enforcement's already on here.
That's my number one choice, by the way, and you know, that was my number one.
Okay. Does anybody else have anything? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm not sure where, maybe you guys can answer the question, but this is Robin Benjamin, I live on Yukon. I wanted to just say that we've been keeping track of these red lights being run in Sun Valley. And then I heard on the news of more than a week ago about illegals who cannot speak English, who cannot read signs, are being given trucking licenses. And this one just seemed to just like go under the rug. Regular licenses without any testing. Is our state doing that? Because all those people seem to be coming in Sun Valley.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I have no idea. That would be something we need to ask the sheriff.
Ask the sheriff?
Uh-huh. When he comes next meeting, we can ask the sheriff. Yes. Yes. Okay.
So
yes, sir.
Yeah, Dennis Tyler. I would like to see, and I know Sun Valley Boulevard is slated to have a big improvement someday. But I think something immediately ought to happen is when there is a designated RTC bus stop on Sun Valley Boulevard, develop it in such a way that the bus is out of the traffic. It's taken up, it stops in the right-hand lane because there's nowhere else to go. So they need to get these bus stops off the road and enough space to where the bus can be off the road to pick up, passengers and so forth.
Okay, I got that on there. Anybody else? All right, wonderful. We will have the results of the top 3 next meeting. And like I said, next meeting is Better Business Bureau for scams and our new county manager.
Will it be here at 6?
Yes.
Okay, because we called and we were told it was at 6:30 by Hobie's.
No, it's 6 o'clock. Yeah. All right. Let's see, we're on to number 8. Alexandra, you have anything to share?
I was gonna say, did you want to review the cab dates or we're good for that?
We're good. That's the first Monday of the month with the exception of September. And that's a Tuesday. That's the first Tuesday because of the holiday.
Can you please bring paper schedules next month? Wait, I didn't get that because I was late.
Sure.
On the back of this.
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I'll make a schedule.
You.
Alexandra, do you have anything?
Let me check our neighborhood development hub. I don't have anything in regards to our boards and committees. We're actually in a lull period right now. Because most of our boards have reappointments as opposed to appointments themselves. But let's just pull up our neighborhood development hub meeting to see what we have.
Give her a microphone.
I'm gonna grab a microphone. So much. Can you guys hear me okay? Does that sound better? Okay. Sounds good. So for our neighborhood development hub, we do have a few that are upcoming. One that affects District 5 and the other that is for all districts. Those are there's one that is affecting all districts is going to be this It is for residential use in commercial zones and expedited process. Via Zoom. If anyone wants to know about any prior projects while this is loading, we can also talk about those. But how, I just forgot, Carmen had mentioned earlier about signing up for neighborhood development emails. So at the bottom of this page, and if anyone needs assistance, I can get you signed up for those emails so you don't miss any of our neighborhood development hub meetings. If you're like me, I like to know about all the districts, not just my own, but you are welcome to tune into however many you feel that affect you. And again, you can click on all neighborhood meetings here. And that way they'll come directly to your inbox. So anytime we do have a neighborhood development meeting, which are triggered by various processes, you'll get that direct to your inbox. If you click into this meeting here, it should have additional details. See if it opens up for me. I was still here because I'm hoping to get Wi-Fi. Because we still only have hotspot on my phone.
We're getting Wi-Fi.
Oh, we're getting Wi-Fi. Oh my gosh. Perfect. So when you click into this neighborhood development meeting again for all districts, you'll see it has when it's going to be occurring. It's going to occur at 5 p.m. on January 8th, which is a Thursday. Here is the Zoom link where you can click into that meeting, and it gives you
now a Sun Valley resident, and it's been an honor to get to know each of you on this board. So thank you so much for allowing myself to introduce myself. Quick shout out to Rick Murdoch in the back there. I told him before he even got up, I wasn't sure, but I was like, I think they're gonna love you. So the minute he got up and said, I'm one of the owners of Hobie's, he got a round of applause. So thank you for giving him a warm welcome, because what I did tell him is that we love meeting here, especially when we have big nights like tonight. It's very nice to be accommodated here at Hobie's. So thank you so much for your dedication to the community. We're excited to partner with you. And Paul Nelson, that was a hot seat, but you did really well.
I'd say so.
And that's what we love. There's a lot of tough questions, but thank you. A lot of tough questions, but these are so real. These concerns and questions that we've had. It happens every time I interact with somebody. So thank you for being willing, and you handled it beautifully. So I hope some of the information he presented to you tonight isn't new. Some of the things I've talked about month after month after month. And I hear you, sir, when you talk about why isn't it better? Why hasn't it been better for decades? I walked into this role thinking and feeling the same exact way. And so I can tell you the great thing about having a county commissioner that sits on the RTC board is things like Sun Valley Boulevard get prioritized. It wouldn't happen otherwise. So thank you to RTC for listening to us. We need it. So I just quickly wanted to recap some of the great news. The illegal dumping. My goodness, to catch somebody in the act of dumping that many tires at a location off of Wedekin and High Rock that we just cleaned up in May. I was out there in May picking up tires myself, and they got the guy. he wasn't from Sun Valley. He's from Minden. 37-year-old
Minden.
from Minden. Drove all the way across.
Arrogant.
Yes.
Oh.
So if I were queen for the day, I'd make him pick up every single last one of those tires himself, but I don't know what the sheriff's office did. Some more news. I was on Channel 4 just a few hours ago regarding our safe parking pilot program. So I get beat up a lot as a commissioner, as you can imagine, about topics like homelessness. And there's this polar opposite opinion about homelessness, and depends who you talk to and what room you walk in. But having lived in Sun Valley, having heard the concerns of this cab and talked to my neighbors, I had to make a very difficult vote last year that supported a no camping ordinance. And the county was the last of the 3 jurisdictions to pass that. It was a difficult thing for me to decide, but at the end of the day, I supported that ordinance because of the fire concerns that we have here, of the illegal dumping that we have here, and the RV and squatting situations that we have here. I still get beat up a lot for that vote, but every time they're talking to me or yelling at me, I just wish I could just say, come visit a Sun Valley CAB meeting and tell me you want to stand up in front of this room and that you wouldn't support cleaner and safer neighborhoods. So that said, in the back of my mind, I said we need to do some more proactive work. So I helped, I encouraged the county manager's office. I requested a pilot program. This is at the beginning of March of last year. I was like, can we please look into doing a safe parking program? And I sent that off to the county managers. We had some meetings, we did some research, we looked at other jurisdictions. And at the time, I was basically told, no, we don't have the capacity to launch a new pilot program. Fast forward, our new county manager, who you'll get to meet next month, she said, Commissioner Garcia, we did not forget about your idea. We're working on it. And I'm pleased to announce that we now have a pilot program launched. We just went on the news today to help spread the word. It's small, 6 spots. It's at the current Our Place campus, which is the women's and families shelter. But the 6 spots are on the outside of the gate, and they have access to the restroom and shower and laundry in the welcome center. So they're completely separate from the women and children. These 6 spots are available to anybody that has a vehicle that is operable, that is insured, and the individuals can come, and they can come in pairs, they can come alone, they can come with a pet. They just need to meet 2 criteria. They either need to be enrolled in school or they need to have active employment. Those are the 2 criteria. So it's a new pilot program, but if you know anybody that is hit a rough time, they're choosing to live in their vehicle for a small, short amount of time. This is a 10-day period where they can go park safely and not worry about being hurt on a road, with strangers around. The facilities are there. We'll connect them to resources. This is brand new. We're going to collect some data. And my idea was that with data, we can now go to our faith-based community and say, hey, churches, you got a lot of private land out there, a lot of empty parking spots, 6 days a week. Please consider maybe carving out a spot or 2 on your private property so that we can help share the lift in this, because homelessness does fall under the purview of the county, but we can't do everything for everyone. So we're looking for community partners to help us step up. So I want to let you know about that pilot program. I wanted to give a special shout out to several people in the room. In the Wells Fargo ATM, I just smile from ear to ear. Every time I see the line, I never get excited about lines in Sun Valley, but that particular line I'm very pleased with because, as you know, it was a lot of heartache losing that access to that banking. And so, Heidi, thank you so much for your advocacy. Let's give her a round of applause. I also want to give a shout out to the Sun Valley Insider. He has done a great job of, it's Rich, right? Richard, yes. He's done a great job of elevating and highlighting some of our issues. So I encourage you to follow his work. He did a story about the ATM long before most people. And then KUNR picked up our story. I was talking the ears off of all of our state senators and legislators trying to shine the light on it. It was a collaborative effort with the letter that the Sun Valley CAB wrote and sent over to the county commissioners. So all of those efforts together really do make an impact. So give yourselves a round of applause for that advocacy. And then I've been talking to you about how I want to continue to bring some more economic development to Sun Valley. So I did get my study approved by the Board of County Commissioners in December. So we have a Sun Valley specific economic development study coming your way soon. So we can see how we can bolster and incentivize projects that will breathe some life into this corridor and bring some of those services that are so badly needed. I've been squirreling away some of my discretionary funds for a little pie in the sky kind of dream of mine, and it came true. So now I get to tell you some more good news. So I, as you know, can communicate with the owners of the Scolari's property who live in Southern California. And I asked them if I could use their private property to host 3 events in June 11th, June 18th, and June 25th, tentatively, depending on how much money I have left, to have a food truck event specifically for Sun Valley. We would have Sun Valley specific food trucks that get prioritized. We're shooting for about 10 food trucks. We're gonna do it in the Scolari's parking lot. We're gonna have tables with resources. The GID is our partner in this. So I will direct my discretionary funds to the GID. And then the operator who does Food Truck Fridays for all of the region, they've now expanded in Southern Reno. They have, they're operating food trucks in the North Valleys at the county park. And now we're gonna have our first food truck event here in Sun Valley. And I'm gonna make it very youth and family focused. So looking to have some dance competitions and get the kids out. So be looking forward to that in June if all goes well. And then last but not least, this is the call to action. I need your help next week if you're available to either call, email, or show up. My colleagues get to decide on an agenda item that I've brought up here many times. This is for approval for 4 hours or more. If you have to get approval from your colleagues to pass an agenda item that is going to be a heavier lift for staff. The ask I've made is we need the DA's office and code enforcement and county staff to look at the issue we're facing here in the valley with deceased parcel owners who own not only the parcels embedded in the neighborhoods, but the roadway parcels. We have a major problem here in Sun Valley with that. And this, if approved by my colleagues next Tuesday, we will be able to put the staff to work on this because it's complicated. There's the nuisance laws that we need to look at and work with our state legislators on, but we need to talk to the different departments within the county. There's a lot of work entailed with this, but it's the right thing to do because if we don't do anything, we're going to continue to see more and more squatting and illegal dumping on these parcels that people have figured out they can't be touched on. Code enforcement can't touch them. Washoe County Sheriff's Office can't touch them. They figured it out. So I want to close that loophole so that we don't have these situations right in the middle of our neighborhoods. So I'm not sure what agenda item it's going to be, but it'll be basically a 4 hour or more type agenda item that is specifically for those deceased private property owners and those LLCs that no longer exist. And last but not least, 311 works. You guys, I used it this morning to deal with an abandoned vehicle that was tagged back in December, and it gave the Washoe County Sheriff's Office a little nudge and they were able to address it. So please do not hesitate. When you see those weeds in those ditches, document it in 311. When you see those abandoned vehicles, document it in 311. I need your voices, your eyes, and your ears out there, but that's what I use, and I encourage you to do the same. My number is 444-0628. You guys can call, text. If you have any questions or concerns, I'm always available. So those are the updates I have. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Mark Nimmo for the record. The deceased properties you're talking about, are you saying that you're trying to get them to be sold or to do something with them, right?
Yes.
And then this meeting, is that gonna be so we can identify where they are and you can do what whoever's gonna do the process to get them sold, right?
When you look at the staff report, 37 parcels have already been identified in Sun Valley. 37. Yes, we're talking slope, we're talking courts, we're talking, we know these, yes, Carnes. We know these properties.
where the owners are deceased and people are living on them.
One more quick question. Again, why are some, and you've addressed this before, why are some of the roads in Sun Valley no pavement, they're dirt, and they're holes, and some of them are?
Those are private.
Those are private.
Yeah,
okay.
it blew my mind when I first got elected too. It looks like a third world country, and the roads in Elko are better than, the dirt roads in Elko are better than some of the ones here.
So
They're
like
private.
People just made them themselves and you got a street
Yep.
name on it, but it's,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
a 4-wheel drive, you get through, okay.
Yes, good question. Yes, ma'am.
On the roads, with that, because I actually have a friend who's, sorry, Catherine Yarte for the record. I have a friend dealing with the same issue down off of, Toll Road.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, would there be, so would the ideal solution be to have that private road portion reverted to the county so that it can be maintained, or the property in general be sold and the road remain with the property?
For the deceased parcels?
Yeah.
Yeah, the option would be to either, like the one on Slope, for example, if any of you know the one, it's like this long rectangular one on Slope. The county could say, you know what, this neighbor wants it, and it would go to the neighbor adjacent to that parcel. Or if there's no surrounding neighbors that would want that, then the county would take over ownership and we could either sell it off or do whatever we wanted with it. So, yeah, it just depends. It's parcel by parcel.
Okay.
Yes.
Would they be sold for their back taxes that we're not paying?
Yeah, so a lot of these, there's gonna be some fiscal notes associated with this. That's part of the agenda packet. So, but I think it's worth it because it talks a lot about how much this will cost in staff time. But I do think there's properties like Carnes that once it's cleaned up and those folks are evicted, that there's value on that land. There's value.
A third of an acre.
It's a lot, it's a big lot. Yep. Great questions. Anything else? All right, let us get home to our children.
All right, thank you, commissioners. We're still on number 9. Does anyone on the board have anything to say?
I do.
Okay.
Hi, Veronica Cortez again. What Carmen was talking about, this is what they look like. They'll show up in your mail and it will tell you inside when the meeting is, where it is, and what's it about. It's usually Tuesday mornings like at 10, but sometimes they're at 6 in the evening. If you get one of these in the mail, don't throw it away. Open it up. That will tell you where the meeting's at. And you can always do a public comment. This book is the meetings that I've been going to for a year. And the reason the things are not getting fixed around here is because the people that we have in charge of our money don't care about us. They're not from here. They're fixing things in other places with their discretionary funds. So when it's voting year next year, we need to really look at our candidates, where they're from and what their agenda is. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. I would like to say just a few things and then we'll have public comment and we will be done to go home. I just want to remind everybody again that ATM is back. And thank Paul. Paul, great presentation. And all of our guest speakers today with public comments and everything were great. We'll have the agenda figured out for next time. And our next meeting is February 2nd with Better Business Bureau and scams for seniors and our new county manager. All right, are there any final general public comments before we go?
Oh, yeah, I just saw one.
Yes, ma'am.
Your name, Robin Benjamin, and I'm a resident. We got something, a notice to check our voting records. Yeah. And it doesn't give any option for anything except mail-in ballots. What's up?
I checked mine online and mine was fine and I had every option I wanted. Are you sure you went to the right spot?
Well, it was a big postcard.
Yeah, and it should have an online address.
You got a computer?
Yeah, I went there, but I didn't see, it sounded like the option was only to vote by mail.
You're not selecting an option, you're verifying your information.
Okay, we did that.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, ma'am,
Hi,
Judy.
I just want to piggyback off of what Bio was talking about, checking your alarms. The American Red Cross will come out. There's a bunch of us in this room that should not be on ladders changing batteries. It takes a month or two to get an apartment, but they will come out and change your smoke alarm batteries. And if your alarms are more than 10 years old, they'll replace them with 10-year battery smoke alarm things.
Yes, ma'am.
And standing to her, son Pam Edmonds for the record. They're gonna be in Sun Valley January 30th. So if anybody wants that done, to call before then, and because they only come out once a month.
Perfect. All right, thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
One more.
What's, I can't, I've lost the word. Oh, Mary Esposito, thank you. Okay, there's meters. That we get in the house, not the smoke alarms, the other meter.
Carbon monoxide.
That's, okay. I went to get one a couple of, like last year in Home Depot, and a young man said to me, get this one. It's the carbon monoxide and natural gas meter. They run about $50. Okay, about a week or two later after I put it in, the thing went off. Oh. I didn't know what to do. I called the power company. They red flagged my house. Under my house where the gas pipe came in, it rotted out, and all that gas was going underneath my house.
Oh.
And I didn't have to evacuate, but everything was turned off for 2 days. Had to get a guy with a special license to come out, fix the pipe. If I did not have that meter, I wouldn't be talking to you guys today. So think about it. Think about it.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
I just have one, this is just a Washoe County flyer about trap, neuter, and return. So it should be shared here, because they were kind enough to make this, and this is, they printed them up, and Community Cats is the first group on the list.
All right.
We're alphabetical, and besides, we're more responsive than anybody else.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, anybody else? All right, then, we're at number 11, and I need a motion.
I move to adjourn.
I second the motion.
Everybody agree? Yes.
Aye.
Thank you all.